everyone, my name is Evie Lupine. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have another video for you all. As you can see, today we have another quiz video ahead, and I tried really hard. I searched all over the internet to try and find some BDSM quizzes that I had never heard of before, and we're actually going to do a couple today. The first one we will start off with is from the DS Playground. It is called What Kind of S-Type Are You? And I'm really curious about this one because I've never seen a quiz that actually breaks down sort of the different S-type archetypes to see where people fall. If you remember from like the BDSM test, if you've seen that video I did on it, it just says submissive. It doesn't really tell you anything about your power exchange preferences in terms of how that plays out. So I'm pretty hopeful that this will have some good insight maybe for those of you who know you're submissive but aren't really sure what direction that might go. So the description says, what kind of submissive are you? Slave, submissive, service-oriented, bottom, kinky masochist, obedient little pet. What kind of S-type are you? S-type is a broad umbrella term for the submissive side of the power dynamic. These identities are multifaceted, complex and nuanced, and don't fit into any one little teeny box. However, there are some similarities too, and I'm interested in the places we overlap, the things we share and have in common, as well as our differences. So I'm pretty hopeful for this. I think it sounds like it's written by somebody who is at least familiar with different styles of submission, and let's just go ahead and see what the questions are like. All right, so right off the bat, it definitely starts off in a very sexual place with my favorite kind of sex is blank. And I don't know if the order of these questions is predetermined or if they're randomized, because some of the quizzes are definitely randomized, so maybe it's not always starting from a super sexual place. But let me see here. Oh, this is very personal. Oh, but it does give us an option of genitals, not my thing. So I do appreciate that. Thank you, quiz. We will be going with that one. Oh, okay. Now we have to pick from a bunch of different photos. Very interesting. So I guess this one is sex and then spanking. Just boot. Just boot. What does boot correspond to? What does boot correspond to? Okay, let's just go with boot. I like boots. I mean, I think this could be pet play. This could be pet play. I just want to know what happens if you pick boot, though. So I'm going to go with boot. I'm into it. All right. At a play party, I'd most like to be... Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good question. Okay. In my fetish finest, at the end of my dominant leash, watching, getting laid. Now, honestly, at a play party, if it's a busy night, it is mostly watching and being seen simply because there's not enough space for everybody to play at. And I really feel like the thing that sets apart, you know, playing at home from playing in a dungeon environment, at least for me, is the getting really dressed up and wearing this expensive fetish gear, or maybe wearing some bondage, and just being able to express my own personal submissive style in public is something that's really important for me for public play in particular. So I'm going to go with in my fetish finest. Role play is, ooh, defining terms. All right, not play. My roles are part of my identity. A lot of fun. Okay, sometimes. Best when I get to give over myself completely. Not my thing. A fun way to spice up sex every once in a while. I have a really old video where I talked about, you know, is BDSM just roleplay or not? And I've been thinking about revisiting it because I think my way of phrasing it before was not the best. I'm going to go ahead and say best when I get to give over myself completely, because I think that is probably the most true. It's not that the roles aren't part of my identity, but it is also play, and we could have a whole discussion about that. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and say when I get to go over myself completely, because that level of surrender is definitely the thing that is very motivating to me. When I'm told what to do, I smile inside and get right on it. Get a little confused, but I try to do a good job. Push back mostly to see what happens. Ignore it. I'm my own person. Limited options here. I would definitely say smile inside and get right on it. However, I would also add that sometimes the deepest kinds of service are the ones that are not always the happiest and intrinsically fulfilling for you directly. But again, that's a whole other conversation we could have another time. This is just a quiz. Ooh, receiving sexual stimulation is not really my thing. Doing tasks for another person is, ooh, okay, all right. My favorite thing to do, super fun, not exactly my idea of a fun time, or fine, depends on the person. I would say my favorite thing to do. Boots, cigars, sandwiches, it's all good. Yep, agree with that one for sure. Okay. The thought of being owned by another person makes me hopeful. Just have to find the right one, I think, is the most accurate of these 4 options. And let me know, in particular for this one, I would be curious to know, what do you guys think? What is your relationship to the thought of being owned by another person? Is it one of these 4 options, or is it something different? Let me know. My favorite position is, let me see, ooh. Is it sexual or is it not sexual? There's lots of options with this particular question. Ooh, curl up in someone's lap while they pet me. Definitely. I'm a big snuggler. I'm a big cuddler. That's me for sure. The very best thing my dominant could tell me is, ooh, thank you, you're so useful. Or, I own you, you're all mine. The best thing. I definitely am very thankful when I know I'm useful, but I think the very best thing is the knowing the ownership part. So I'm going to go with that one. Being with a sadist makes me feel horny. Meh, are they good in the sack? Not going to lie, a little nervous. Get away from me with your hurty things. So alive, we feed each other. I mean, I feel like nervous, but also like it's not a bad nervous. It's a like, ooh, how deep does this rabbit hole go kind of a nerves thing where you're not really sure what the other side of it would look like. So it's nerves, but not in a negative way, though I don't know if the quiz will interpret that part of it. My favorite fantasy of these is being the center of a rockin' gangbang. Does anybody phrase it that way? Is anybody like, I want to be part of a specifically rockin' gangbang, not a jazz gangbang, not a pop gangbang, rockin' in particular. Pleasing my dominant, feeling completely owned, getting all tied up and hurt so good, being the perfect pet, having a daddy or mommy who takes care of me, getting put in my place, I've been naughty. What's interesting is there's definitely options in here that I feel like they haven't touched on in other parts of the quiz, so I don't know how they would interpret this, but like being the perfect pet, definitely. They haven't mentioned anything else about bondage in this at all so far, and I haven't really seen a lot that I think is directly corresponded to age play or CGL or GDLG or anything. Pleasing my dominant. Oh God, there's so many good options in here. My favorite fantasy. I mean, why can't like these 4 just be one giant thing, right? I think probably feeling completely owned. Although getting tied up and hurt so good is definitely probably second to that, because I feel like pleasing my dominant and being the perfect pet is definitely more of a reality thing for me, but the fantasy of it tends to go back to like these 2, if anybody else kind of makes a difference there. If my dominant told me to not orgasm for a week, I would die, try for a day or 2, do my very best to obey, obviously. Orchestrate getting caught with my pants down. Do my very best to obey, obviously. Obviously. If I had to give up one part of my sex life, it would be... my brain hurts. I'm safe wording this question. Yeah, probably just vanilla sex. Probably that. If I can have cuddles still, if cuddles are not under the domain of vanilla sex, I would give that up for sure. Ooh. Okay, very interesting. Oh, those little pictures are so cute. Look at that. Oh, do they have more? Can I see the... Oh, there's other ones. Look. Those are so cute. Look at that. Those are adorable. Look at that. Diverse body types. I love it. Hand drawn. So cute. Okay. What does it say about being a slave? Slave. It's not just a BDSM cliche. Some of us, like you, are actual consensual slaves. Thank you, quiz. You want to give over access to your entire self, body, time, will, and more. Though you may love to receive sensation, give good service, and submit psychologically, you also get off on the very most by being owned, controlled, and possessed. Your deepest pleasure derives from someone else taking their deepest pleasures from encounters with you, and everything else is just icing on the cake. You love to be asked to do things that are not for your pleasure, just so you can have the chance to exercise your own devotion to your path as a slave. You scored strongest in this subtype, but you are more complicated than a label could describe. Click here to explore the other possible archetypes and decide for yourself which is the best fit. All right, well, let's look at that. What are the other archetypes? I do like that they specifically say that, like, people are complicated and it is more than just that. Oh, wait, this is an e-course. What is this? I don't want to take an e-course. I want to look at the other archetypes. I got tricked. I got tricked into taking an e-course. Okay, so I would love to know more about what they say for the other descriptions, because I feel like for me there is so much overlap between, like, the pet play, the service, the slavery per this quiz, that, like, those things are so intertwined for me that they really come from a very similar place. So I would love to know more about these other ones. I really liked this quiz. I mean, obviously it was very, like, sex focused, but it is the only one of its type that I've been able to find. So, and I would love to know if you guys end up taking this. Do you think it's accurate or not? And do you think they left any important archetypes out? Because I think I could say there are definitely ones in here that they left out, but it is also specifically focused on power exchange. So maybe there's something to do with that, right? Like, I think, like, bratting was not really a part of this at all. Maybe that would go into the girl-boy pet player area, maybe, but I think they definitely left some out. So let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear your thoughts. And we're going to go ahead and go over to the second quiz, which is quite a bit different, which is called the Sadomasochism Tendency Test. This is from realme.com. I know nothing about this. All it says is sadomasochism means receiving sexual gratification from the infliction of physical pain or humiliation either on another person or on oneself. The movie 50 Shades of Grey propelled sadomasochism to a new level of public awareness and acceptance. Do you have any tendency for sadism or masochism? Just answer 15 questions and they will reveal how submissive or dominant you really are. Okay, so is this a sadomasochism test? Is this a DS test? I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. I love these completely random quizzes because I have no idea what to expect from them. All right. Okay. Which movie scene interests you the most? The lead defeats the enemy by using intelligence. The lead is defeated by overwhelming force, or the lead gets rich by inheriting a large estate. Defeating the enemy by intelligence, like figuring out how to get around a complicated problem, is really interesting to watch. Have no idea how this corresponds with anything BDSM related though. All right, as a student, how are/were your grades? Depends on when it was in school. In college, it was almost all A's though. Take a look in your fridge. What kind of food or drinks do you see the most? Okay. What does this have to do with BDSM? Is this just a test to see if we're a robot? What is going on in here? None of those things are true. We don't have any beer in the fridge. I'm a vegan. I think there's probably some cherry Coke in there for when Mr. Tex wants to make a mixed drink. Fruit, probably, but I actually need to go to the grocery store after this, so the most accurate answer is not really a whole lot of anything. What are you thinking when you take a roller coaster ride and rush straight down from the top? I mean, currently I'm thinking, what do I need from the grocery store, as we previously established on the last question, but get me off of this thing right now. Usually I used to be a lot bigger of a fan of roller coasters when I was younger, and then I learned fear, and I do not enjoy them that much anymore. I have to be honest. Ooh, you're walking along the street when suddenly a man approaches you and asks you if you're interested in working for the porn industry. obviously walk away very quickly. That sounds like a human trafficking thing. I don't necessarily know how porn studios recruit, but I do not think it is from a random stranger going up to people in malls or in public and going, hey, do you want to make a porno? Don't think that's how it happens. What do you do the day before a business trip? Actually, legit, I clean my house usually before I leave. That's the big thing. I usually have it packed a couple days before, and then right before I leave. I don't like to come back to a messy house, so. Do you ever have the impulse to key random cars? No? What does this have to do? What is this quiz? What do you think of listing your life goals? I can see a use for it, but I don't have anything written down. I mean, like, life's always changing. Again, what does this have to do with BDSM? Do you have any collections? Yes, I have a large BDSM toy collection. Are you going to ask me about that quiz? Probably not. When you make up your mind to do something, you finish it to perfection. I am definitely a perfectionist. All right. A new restaurant is opening soon. Your BFF invites you to go. Which do you think you'd order? Something new and unusual or a classic dish? Probably new and creative. Again, I would love to see how in the freaking world this corresponds to anything kink related, because I am not seeing it. Ooh, you're walking to the car in the middle of the night. Someone seems to be following you. You would. I mean, and neither of these or any of these options, they don't seem good. I guess probably rush to a nearby store until they've passed would be the best. What do I do for a living? I mean, obviously I'm a famous artist / singer / actor, so let's go ahead and put that down just for fun. How good is your relationship with your family? Why do they need that information? Okay, this is the last question after we've established that I am an actress or a singer. If your partner proposes to have car sex with you, what do you think? Important question. Is the car in motion or not? And is this on the highway or not? Because simply having sex in a car that is stationary in a garage is very different from having sex at like 70 miles an hour on the highway. How did they get these numbers? Where... how? Neutrality, 22%. Masochism, 14%. Sadism, 62%. Now, are these numbers somehow actually accurate? Kind of. They definitely know that I'd lean more towards sadism. But how did me having fruit in the fridge correspond in any meaningful way to me being a masochist or not? I don't know. I don't know. This is mind-blowing. I don't really know what else to say about this particular quiz other than it is a complete mystery to me, and I don't know what to tell you all about it besides that. That's quite the quiz experience. Now, if you guys would like to take at least the first quiz for yourself, I would recommend that. If you have any other quizzes you guys would like to see me take, or again, if you have one for what type of dominant you are or what type of sadist you are, something along those lines, I would love to take something like that. But that is all I have for you guys today. Any other comments or questions, or if you want to share your own quiz results down below, you can do so down in the comment section. If you want to subscribe to my channel, if you want to see more from me, I make videos twice a week about all sorts of kink and BDSM related topics, sometimes fun quizzes, sometimes informational videos, personal stories, lots of fun stuff. And finally, if you really want to support what I do, the best way to do that is through Patreon. A link to that will be down in the description box below. If you already support me over there, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. And until I see you guys next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.